Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. And in today's video I have a little belated shop my stash for August. It's gonna be kind of like picking my products that I want to be focusing on in the month of August, and I want to have them as my everyday makeup drawer that I can always get into. And these are the products that I want to use outside of my panning, because I have a lot of project pans currently happening. But these are gonna be products that I have around that and that I can have fun with. So hopefully you enjoy that. In case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows, and everything fun and bright. And I would love to have you here on the channel. So if you could subscribe, write down a comment down below of like your favorite current products that you like to use. It would really help me out. And now for the products, I usually have like a little bit of everything from different categories that I like to use. I usually don't have foundations because I don't use foundation, or like bronzers, contours, because again, I didn't use these products, so I'm not bringing them here. A lot of the times I don't even have, like I have 3 bronzers, I think, and 0 contours, so I wouldn't really have much to choose from. But first up, I'm gonna, from my concealer, there's only one concealer that I currently have, and that's the Maybelline Superstay concealer in the shade number 10, which is also my project pan product for this year. I've used it a lot of times. I've used it like over 220 times, and it's still my favorite. It's still amazing. I love this concealer so much. I would highly recommend this one. I don't have to set it with anything. It looks beautiful, and it just does everything that I want out of a concealer. I don't like super cakey concealers, and as I said, I don't wear foundation, so I don't want it to be like super obvious, and I don't want it to be, I don't want to set it with powder, so it has to be something that doesn't need to be like fully matte, but I just don't want it to move. So I don't like very like glowy, liquidy concealers. But it also can be like too drying and stuff like that, because I don't want it to look cakey. Then I actually forgot to take it here because I made this list like 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to film it. But I actually have new powder foundation from L'Oreal. It's the Infallible something powder foundation. I have it in the shade Cashmere. I believe it's like number 40 or something. And I've been trying it. I've been using it like twice. I might have a little video, so I might pop it here just so that I can show you. And I've actually been kind of liking that one. I might try to use it a couple times because I want to review it, like haul it in my monthly haul. And I feel like it's quite nice so far. I've been enjoying it, and it doesn't look like foundation. It doesn't make me break out, and it obviously doesn't make me oily or sweaty, which is beautiful in the summer. So I feel like that could be like a really nice product for this August capsule collection. But as I said, I kind of forgot to take it here with me because I just got back from a vacation and I'm just kind of all over the place. Then I have my mascara that I would like to use up this month. I always have like either 1 or 2 mascaras opened, and I try to always like use them up before I open something else. So I don't have like mascaras to choose from. I have like 4 or 5 mascaras here bought that I haven't opened yet, that I haven't touched yet, because again, I use up one of my mascaras and then I replace it with another one. I just don't like to have more mascaras opened at the same time, because I don't want them to get to go bad, or you know, cause any infections or anything like that. So this is the Essence All Eyes on Me Multi-Effect Mascara. It's this little one. It has a beautiful wand that is like very easy to use, gives you like very nice soft lashes, and it's beautiful on the lower lash line. I'm actually wearing it today, and yeah, I just feel like it's such a like soft little mascara that I've been that I've been enjoying a lot. I don't think it's gonna last me all month to use this though, because I already am on like 25 uses. I always write down the number of uses these products have at the beginning of the month, and then I come back after the end of the month and I give you the kind of like numbers and statistics of how much I've actually used it in the month, because I don't think it makes sense for me to just like give you products that I want to use and then never actually tell you if I used them that month. So I like to kind of update you on that. And since this one is already like over 20 uses, and usually mascaras for me last me like 35 to like 40 uses, and this one is a little bit like, I think it's smaller than regular mascaras. At least the packaging looks smaller, so I don't think it's gonna last me that long. Then I have a blush, and I actually have this NYX Buttermelt blush. I've been wearing so much, so many orange blushes lately. Well, I've been using one eyeshadow as a blush for the longest time, and it's been orange. But I still love orange. I love orange blush. I pretty much always use either peach or orange blushes. It's very rare for me to wear anything else on my face, because I'm kind of boring with my face product, if I'm being honest. I love eyeshadow and I love highlighter, and the rest is kind of like whatever I have, I'm gonna use it until the end. But as I said, this is the NYX Buttermelt blush, and it's the BMBL03 Sooner the Better. This is so pretty. I've already used it like 6 times prior to the beginning of this month, and it's a beautiful formula. It smells so beautiful. It smells like some kind of cookie, like a Christmas cookie or something. Very stunning, and I hope I'm gonna get a lot of uses out of it. I haven't used it yet, and I'm actually posting this video today as I'm filming it, because as I said, I was on my vacation and I didn't take this with me for some reason. I don't know, I think I forgot. So that one, I will be using that. And if I'm not going to be using this one, I'm probably going to be reaching for another blush, which is in my year-long project pan. But I really love this one, and it's kind of like an everyday thing for me. This has been my everyday blush for the longest time, and I love this one. I love the way it looks on me. I love the formula. I love the way it makes my cheeks look very healthy and just like naturally flushed. And it's the Revolution Fast Base blush in the shade Peach. You can also use this on your lips, which I think I'm gonna depot a little bit of this in like a metal pan and have it for my lips as well. But this is such a beautiful blush. I've actually used up quite a bit of it since last year that I bought it, but there's still so much left, and I'm just loving this one. So I'm gonna be kind of going back and forth between these two blushes, which honestly I usually have this and then an orange blush in most of my monthly like shop my stash videos, because that's just what I enjoy, okay? And I don't really have, I have a couple pink blushes, and I have one kind of a yellowy blush, and that's everything. I think I have one kind of reddish blush as well. I buy the same shades all the time because that's what I like. And I need to stop myself from buying more blushes, because I have quite a lot of them and they're all the same, and I love them, but I really don't need more. Then we have the first palette that I want to kind of focus on. Is a beautiful palette that I feel like I need to use in the summer. I've actually already used it last month as well, even though it wasn't in any of my like projects, in any shop my stashes, or in anything. I just wanted to use it, and that was also the reason why I decided to put it here, because I really want to give it more love. And it's the Galactic Visitor by Singe Beauty. I absolutely love Singe Beauty. This is the only palette that I have, but I also have one of their blushes, and I have their face and eye brushes, and they're so good. But this, the Galactic Visitor, it is absolutely beautiful. I tested it in the beginning of this year, I believe. And I mean, this is summer in a palette. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love all of these shades. And prior to the beginning of this month, I've already used this palette 7 times since I bought it, and I really want to focus on this one. I feel like it's gonna be also a really nice palette to mix in with my Pendos palettes, Pendos eyeshadows, so it's gonna get a lot of use. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So that's the Singe Beauty Galactic Visitor. Then we have another palette that I'm currently that I've already reviewed, and I think I've used it one time after my review as well, but I want to use it a little bit more to try it out for my monthly haul, because I always film my monthly hauls after I've been able to use every single shade in my new eyeshadow palette for at least 3 times. Sometimes with bigger palettes I have to kind of lower my standards for that, but usually I try to use every single shade 3 times before my monthly haul. And the palette I'm talking about is the Elite Look Cosmetics and Adventure Time Candy Kingdom palette. I love this one. This is exactly the type of palette that I wanna see, buy, and use. I'm such a sucker for these. I know that I have so many palettes that are pretty much the same, but I need this, okay? I don't like monochromatic palettes, I don't like neutral palettes, I don't like small travel palettes. I want this. I don't like big palettes, but this one is still in like a size that I am okay with. I think it's also the fact that the palettes are kind of smaller. If this was bigger palette, I would not be okay with it. I don't want like a 40 pan rainbow palette, but I love these very colorful, fun palettes that I can use. I loved all of my looks with it. It's so good. I cannot even describe the formula. The mattes are so buttery smooth and so gorgeous to blend, and the shimmers are extremely sparkly and so like wet looking, sparkly, non-creasy. I could write poems about this one. So this one I will be so happy to use and get my 3 uses on everything, so that I can make sure that I love it just as much as when I first tried it, which I don't think that there's gonna be any change in my heart, because it's just so gorgeous, and I love Lidl's formula. But again, to be fair, for all of the other palettes that I haul this way, you know, it would be unfair if I would just use it a couple times, and I really do want to use it. Then next up, another palette that I'm currently in the process of reviewing. I already filmed my initial review with 4 looks, or 4 looks. I think both of these I did 4 looks on, and I will put those reviews in the look card. So go check that out if you want a inspiration. You don't have to buy these palettes, but you can still get inspired by the looks. And that is the Ocean Jewel palette by Bella Beauty. And that is the Ocean Jewel palette by Bella Beauty Bar. Again, such a gorgeous palette. I've been wanting color story like this for the longest time. I always say that I'm a peacock, and I mean, look at this. This could have a peacock on the initial like front cover, and it would completely make sense. So beautiful. The yellows, the kind of teals, the purples, so pretty. I've used it 4 times for the initial review, and then I think once afterwards. I already have so many other looks planned with this though. Like I already know I want to try this multiple times. I think I'm gonna try it with the Adventure Time as well, to, you know, do not focus only on this particular color story, but honestly, this palette really inspires me. I've already created a lot of looks in my head that I want to kind of try to create for you. So this one need this. Then I have a palette in my summer collection. I always film like seasonal collections where I rank my like top 10 favorite palettes for that season. And I always try to use them throughout that season, and then after the 3-month period, I always come back and tell you if I actually touched them in that season or if I haven't really been focusing on them. And one of them is this Gospel palette, which is a collaboration between Beauty Moons and my friend Philip. It's a palette that they launched, I think it was September last year. It's a beautiful rainbowy palette. I do quite like this formula. I think there's only like 2 shades that are a little bit more problematic for me to use, because this shade hard pans all the time, and this shade doesn't really show up on me a lot. But apart from that, this is such a great formula. It's a wonderful color story and very summer appropriate, so it will be a couple of fun colors to add either to my Pendos eyeshadows, Pendos palettes, or just, you know, looks that I want to create. And Gospel, I've used 10 times so far before the month started, so we'll see how many uses I'm gonna be able to get by the end of the month. But I would like to have at least like maybe 20 uses combined with all of these palettes. And for me, a use of a palette means that I use that palette for a look. I don't have to use just that palette for a look, but one look that I did counts as one use for all the palettes that I used for that look, if that makes sense. So if I would combine these 2 palettes for a look, both of them would get a 1 use added to whatever number they're currently on. That's how I count it. And a lot of the times, unless it's a big palette or unless I'm like reviewing something, I do use more than 1 palette. But sometimes I use like 1 palette for my eyes and then the other palette for maybe like my blush and highlighter and brows or something like that. So I do kind of use my palettes in a lot of different ways. And sometimes I have a look planned that I can use just 1 palette, but sometimes I have a look in my head that I kind of need a lot of different palettes. Also, I'm currently, like now I'm filming it at my dorm, but for the most part of August, I'm gonna be at my grandparents' house, and I don't want to bring a lot of palettes there, so I'm only gonna have my Pendos palettes, my Pendos eyeshadows, and then these palettes. So I'm gonna have very little amount of palettes to like kind of choose from and work with. So if I just need a shade from one of them, I'm just gonna use that 1 shade. That's kind of how that goes. Then my primer for the eyes is gonna be the Artdeco eyeshadow primer. I started using it in the second half of July. Just kind of randomly, I finished my previous primer and this was the one that I found first, so I started using it. And since it's been on my table, I've been using it every single day, and I think it's a good primer. It works nicely. It makes my eyeshadows look really good, like I'm using it today. And yeah, it's been really nice, so I'm gonna be using it probably every single day. Since I don't really want to have multiple primers on me, I usually have 1 kind of like basic primer, and then I would have 1 colored one in case I need like a solid base, like solid color as a base, and 1 white one for like very bright or pastel-y looks. And that's kind of all the primers that I'm using in a month. And then the last product is gonna be brow glue. I don't have a brow product here, like a pencil or something, because I'm currently using whatever eyeshadow I have in my Pendos palette. And I'm usually mixing crazy colors to create brown shades. So, you know, like currently I'm gonna be mixing, because I'm gonna change my hair today, I'm probably gonna be mixing like green with orange to make a brown. So I just, whatever I have in my Pendos palettes or Pendos eyeshadows that can be used on my brows, whether on its own or mixing it with something else, that's what I use. But for setting my brows, I'm gonna be using the Superlock brow glue from Maybelline. I think I've had that in the last month as well, because I always have only 1 brow glue or brow gel, you know, like one brow product to set my eyebrows with, because I just find it completely useless to have multiple products and rotating through them, because at the end of the day they all look pretty much the same. So this one, I'm just gonna be counting how many uses I have on it in a month. I'm just gonna write it down, because I normally don't track my like glues or my primers. I usually don't track that, so I'm just gonna write down every single day. I'm gonna make a little line if I use these products. So that's all the products I'm gonna be focusing on in this month. Let me know what would be your kind of capsule collection, or like everyday makeup collection that you want to focus on. And as I said, I'm gonna come back in a month and share with you how many times I've actually used these products, if any, and what I think about them, because this is a really nice way for me to remind myself of older products, get a little bit of get accustomed to my newer products, and just kind of, you know, tell you a little bit about my experience with all of these. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and I hope you've had a great day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.